Lesson 13. Discourse on the Wonderful and Marvelous Qualities. Acharya Bhutadaba Sutta. Abridged. Thus have I heard. At one time, the Lord was staying near Savatthi, in the Jeta Grove. Then the conversation arose among the monks in the assembly hall, Upatthana Sala. How wonderful, your reverences, how marvelous are the great psychic power and the great majesty of the Tathagata, that he should know of former awakened ones, who have attained Nibbana, who have cut off obstacles, who have ended the cycle, who have escaped from all sorrow. Then the Lord, emerging from meditation toward the evening, approached the hall and addressed the Venerable Ananda. Ananda, deliver at greater length the Tathagata's wonderful and marvelous qualities. Face to face with the Lord, I have learned this. The Bodhisattva arose in the Tusita group, mindful and clearly conscious. I regard this as a wonder, a marvelous quality of the Lord's. The Bodhisattva remained in the Tusita group, mindful and clearly conscious, as long as his lifespan lasted. The Bodhisattva, passing away from the Tusita, mindful and clearly conscious, entered his mother's womb. When the Bodhisattva, having passed away from the Tusita, entered his mother's womb, an illimitable glorious radiance, surpassing the glory of gods, appeared in the worlds with the gods, the Maras and the Brahmas, and men. Even in those spaces between the worlds, baseless and dark, where even the moon and the sun, so powerful and majestic, cannot make their light prevail, even there appeared the illimitable radiance. And the beings who happened to be there perceiving each other thought, indeed, there are other beings living here. And the 10,000 worlds of the universe quaked and shook as there appeared the radiance.
It is the rule that, when the Bodhisattva is entering his mother's womb, 4 sons of the gods, Devas, approach so as to guard the 4 quarters, saying, do not let a human being or a non-human being annoy the Bodhisattva and his mother. When he is entering his mother's womb, his mother is virtuous through her own nature, restrained from taking life, killing, from taking what is not given, from wrong conduct, from lying speech, and from indulgence in strong drinks. No desire arises in his mother toward men, and she is enjoying the 5 sense pleasures, endowed with the 5 sense pleasures. No ailment arises in his mother. She is at ease, her body is not tired, and within her womb she sees the Bodhisattva complete in all his limbs, his sense organs perfect. Just as a gem of purest water, well cut into 8 facets, flawless, excellent in every way, might be strung on a thread, blue or yellow or red or white or orange, and a man with vision, having taken it in his hand, might reflect. This is a gem of purest water. The Bodhisattva's mother dies 7 days after the Bodhisattva is born, and she arises in the Tusita group. The Bodhisattva's mother carries him for exactly 10 months before the childbirth. She gives birth to the Bodhisattva while standing. When he is issuing from her womb, gods receive him first, men afterwards. When he is issuing, he does not touch the earth. The 4 sons of gods, having received him, present him to his mother, saying, Rejoice, lady, mighty is the son that is born to you. When he is issuing, he is quite stainless, undefiled by watery matter, by blood, by any impurity. It is as when a jewel is laid on Benares muslin. The jewel is not stained by the muslin, nor is the muslin stained by it. When he is issuing, 2 streams of water appear from the sky, the one cool, the other warm, with which they do the bathing for him and his mother. When he has come to birth, standing firm on both feet, facing north, he takes 7 strides, and while a white sunshade is held over him, looking around on every side, he utters as with the voice of a bull, "I am chief in the world. I am best in the world. I am eldest in the world." This is the last birth. There is no more again becoming. When he is issuing, an illimitable, glorious radiance appears in the world, as above. Therefore, Ananda, regard this too as a wonder, that the feelings that arise in the Tathagata are known, they persist and they go to destruction. The perceptions, the thoughts that arise are known, they persist, and then they go to destruction. Thus spoke the Venerable Ananda. The teacher approved. Delighted, the bhikshus rejoiced at what the Venerable Ananda had said. Majjhima Nikaya 3, number 123.
Lesson 14, Part 1, The Buddha in the World. On one occasion, the Exalted One was journeying along the high road in Kosala. Now the Brahman Dona was also traveling along the road. Then the Brahman beheld on the footprints of the Exalted One the wheel marks with their 1,000 spokes, with their rims and hubs, and all their attributes complete. On seeing these, he thought thus, "It is wonderful indeed. It is marvelous indeed. These will not be the footprints of a human being." Just then, the Exalted One stepped aside from the high road and sat down at a root of a tree, sitting cross-legged, holding his body upright and setting mindfulness in front of him. Then the Brahman Dona, following up the Exalted One's footprints, beheld him seated there, comely, faith-inspiring, with calmed senses, tranquil mind, in the attainment of composure by masterly control, like a tamed, alert, perfectly trained elephant. He approached the Exalted One and said this, "Your Reverence will be a diva." "No, indeed, Brahman, I'll not be a diva." "Then your Reverence will be a Gandhava." "No, indeed, Brahman, I'll not be a Gandhava." "A Yaka, then?" "No, indeed, not a Yaka." "Then your Reverence will be a human being." "No, indeed, I'll not be a human being." When questioned thus, "Your Reverence will be a diva, a Gandhava, a Yaka, a human being," you reply, "No, so, I'll not be a diva, a Gandhava, a Yaka, a human being." Who then will your Reverence be? Brahman, if those defilements, asavas, were not destroyed, I should become a diva. Those defilements in me are destroyed, cut off at the root, made like a palm tree stump, so that they cannot arise again in the future. If those asavas were not destroyed, I should become a Gandhava, a Yaka, a human being. Those asavas in me are destroyed, as a palm tree whose crown has been cut off cannot put forth growth again. Just as, Brahman, a lotus, blue, red, or white, though born in the water, grown up in the water, when it reaches the surface, stands rising out of the water, unsoiled by the water, even so, Brahman, though born in the world, grown up in the world, having overcome the world, I abide unsoiled by the world. Take it that I am a Buddha, Brahman. As a lotus, fair and lovely, by the water is not soiled. By the world am I not soiled. Therefore, Brahman, am I a Buddha. Anguttara Nikaya 1, The Gradual Sayings, The Book of the Fours, 6, 36.
Part 2. The Wonderful Marvels of the Dhammavinaya. Monks, in this Dhamma discipline, there are many wonderful things which the monks delight to see and see. What are they? 1. Just as, monks, the mighty ocean slopes down, slides, and tends downward gradually, and there is no abrupt precipice. Even so, in this Dhamma discipline, the training is gradual, the progress is gradual. There is no abrupt penetration of knowledge. This is the first wonderful thing in this Dhamma discipline, which the monks delight to see and see. 2. Just as, monks, the mighty ocean is fixed and does not overpass its bounds, even so, when the code of training is made known by me to my disciples, they will not transgress it, even for life's sake. This is the second marvel. 3. Just as, monks, the great rivers entering the mighty ocean lose their former names and are termed simply ocean, even so, the four castes, the Khatyas, nobles, the Brahmins, the Vaisas, merchants, and the Sudras, servants, going forth from home to the homeless life in the Dhamma discipline proclaimed by the Tathagata, lose their former names and lineages and are regarded simply as recluses, sons of Sakyas. This is the third marvel. 4. Just as, monks, the mighty ocean has but one taste, the taste of salt, even so, this Dhamma discipline has but one flavor, the flavor of liberation. This is the fifth marvel. 6. Just as, monks, the ocean has many and diverse gems, the pearl, the crystal, and so forth, even so, this Dhamma discipline has many and diverse gems. That is, the four foundations of mindfulness, the four right efforts, the four ways to psychic power, the five faculties, the five powers, the 7 limbs of awakening, the Aryan Eightfold Path. This is the sixth marvel. 7. Just as, monks, the ocean is the abode of great creatures, the Asuras, the Nagas, the Gandhabas, even so, this Dhamma discipline is the abode of great beings, that is to say, the stream winner, and the one who has attained the fruit of stream winning, the once returner, and the one who has attained the fruit of once returning, the non-returner, and the one who has attained the fruit of non-returning, the Arahant, and the one who has attained the fruit of Arahantship. This is the seventh marvel. These monks really are the wonderful marvels in this Dhamma discipline, seeing which again and again the monks take delight in this Dhamma discipline. Excerpt from Anguttara Nikaya 4, the Gradual Sayings, the Great Chapter, and Udana, Verses of Uplift, Chapter 5.
Lesson 15, Part 1, the Kavalira Parichataka Tree, the Heavenly Coral Tree. Paragraph 1. Monks, when the Kavalira Parichataka, the Heavenly Coral Tree of the Tavidtimsa Devas, the 33 gods, is dry in leaf, those Devas greatly rejoice. The Heavenly Coral Tree is dry in leaf. Before long there will be leaf fall. When the leaves are falling, they greatly rejoice. Falling are now the leaves. Shortly now will appear every bud. When the buds appear, they greatly rejoice. Now the buds appear. Soon the shoots will come out. When the shoots come out, they greatly rejoice. Now the shoots come out. Soon will the blossoms form. When the blossoms form, they greatly rejoice. Now the blossoms form. Soon, like the red lotus, will the flowers be shaped. When the flowers are shaped like the red lotus, they greatly rejoice. Shaped like the red lotus are the flowers. Soon the flowers will be in full bloom. Paragraph 2. When the Kavalira Parichataka tree of the Tavidtimsa Devas is in full bloom, those Devas sport for 4 divine months at the foot of the tree, indulging in the 5 sense pleasures. When the divine tree is in full bloom, its radiance pervades 50 yojanas. The perfume is wafted along by the wind 100 yojanas. This is the divine power of the Kavalira Parichataka tree. In just the same way, monks,
when the Aryan disciple is inclined to go forth from home into the homeless life. The Aryan disciple is dry in leaf, like the heavenly coral tree of the Tavi Timsa Devas. Paragraph 3. When the Aryan disciple has his hair and beard shaved off, and donned the saffron robe and gone forth, it is his fall of leaf, like the heavenly coral tree. Then, aloof from sense pleasures, from evil, unskilled states of mind, he enters on and abides in the first jhana, a state of joy and ease born of detachment, accompanied by applied thought and sustained thought. This is the time when his buds appear, like the heavenly coral tree. Then, by calming down applied thought and sustained thought, he enters on and abides in the second jhana, a state of joy and ease born of concentration, which is void of applied and sustained thought, a state of inward calm and one-pointedness of mind. This is the time when his shoots come out, like the heavenly coral tree. Then, aloof from joy, dwelling detached, mindful and composed, he experiences in his body that ease of which the Arahants, the Aryans, say, "The one who has equanimity and is mindful dwells at ease," and entering on the third jhana, he abides in it. This is the time when his blossoms form, like the heavenly coral tree. Then, by getting rid of ease and pain, by the ending of his former pleasures and sorrows, he enters on and abides in the fourth jhana, which has neither pain nor ease, a state of pure equanimity and mindfulness. This is the time when his flowers are of the red lotus shape, like the heavenly coral tree. Then, when the Aryan disciple, by destroying the cankers, enters on and abides in full realization, his flowers are in full bloom, like the heavenly coral tree. Then the earth devas utter a shout. This revered Sir, living a life of faith, has destroyed the cankers and dwells in full realization. Hearing the shout, the four great kings devas, the Tavi Timsa devas, the Yama devas, the Tusita devas, the devas who delight in creation, the devas who delight in others' creations, and the devas of the Brahma's attendants roll back the cry. This revered Sir, living the life of faith, by the destruction of the cankers, having realized by his super-knowledge here and now the emancipation of mind and emancipation of wisdom which is cankermus, enters on and abides in it. Thus in an instant, thus in a moment, the sound soars up to the Brahma heaven. This is the progressive power of a monk who has destroyed the cankers. Anguttara Nikaya, the Book of the Sevens.
Lesson 15, Part 2, The One Person. Monks, there is one person whose birth into the world is for the welfare of many folk, for the happiness of many folk, who is born out of compassion for the world, for the profit, welfare, and happiness of devas and mankind. Who is that person? It is a Tathagata, an Arahant, a fully self-awakened one. Monks, the appearance of one person is hard to be found in the world. Of what person? Of a Tathagata, an Arahant, a fully self-awakened one. Monks, one person born into the world is a wonderful one. What person? It is a Tathagata, an Arahant, a fully self-awakened one. Monks, the passing away of one person is to be regretted by many folk. Of what person? Of a Tathagata, an Arahant, a fully self-awakened one. Monks, there is one person born in the world who is unique, without a peer, without a counterpart, incomparable, unequaled, matchless, unrivaled, best of bipeds. Who is that one person? It is a Tathagata, an Arahant, a fully self-awakened one. Monks, the appearance of one person is the appearance of a mighty eye, a mighty light, a mighty radiance, of six things unsurpassed. It is the realization of the four branches of logical analysis, the penetration of the various elements, of the diversity of elements. It is the realization of the fruits of knowledge and emancipation, the realization of the fruits of stream winning, of once returning, of non-returning, of arahantship. Of what person? Of a Tathagata, an arahant, a fully self-awakened one. Monks, I know not of any other single person who so perfectly keeps rolling the supreme Dhamma wheel set rolling by the Tathagata as does Sariputta. Sariputta, monks, is the one who perfectly keeps rolling the supreme Dhamma wheel set rolling by the Tathagata.
Lesson 16. The First Discourse of the Buddha. Setting in motion the wheel of truth. Dhammacakka Pipavatana Sutta. Part 1. Thus have I heard, the Blessed One was once dwelling in the deer park at Ishipatana, the resort of seers, near Varanasi, Benares. There he addressed the company of 5 bhikkhus. O bhikkhus, these two extremes should not be practiced by one who has gone forth from the household life. What are the two? Devotion to the indulgence of sense pleasures, which is low, base, unworthy, and unprofitable, and devotion to self-mortification, which is painful, unworthy, and unprofitable. By avoiding both these extremes, the Tathagata has comprehended the middle path, which gives vision, which gives knowledge, and which leads to calm, insight, enlightenment, nibbana. And what, O bhikkhus, is the middle path? It is verily the noble eightfold path, namely right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This, O bhikkhus, is the middle path comprehended by the Tathagata, which gives vision, which gives knowledge, and which leads to calm, insight, enlightenment, nibbana. Now this, O bhikkhus, is the noble truth of suffering, dukkha. Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, sickness is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are suffering. Association with the unpleasant is suffering, dissociation from the pleasant is suffering, not to get what one desires is suffering. In brief, the 5 aggregates of attachment are suffering. Now this, O bhikkhus, is the noble truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya. It is this thirst which leads to rebirth, accompanied by passionate greed. It finds delight now here and now there, namely, the thirst for sense pleasures, the thirst for existence, and the thirst for non-existence. Now this, O bhikkhus, is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, nirodha. It is the complete cessation of that very thirst, giving it up, renouncing it, liberating oneself from it, detaching oneself from it. Now this, O bhikkhus, is the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, magga. It is verily the noble eightfold path, namely right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration.
Part 2. Paragraph 1. This is the noble truth of suffering. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the eye, vision, the knowledge, the wisdom, the insight, the light. This noble truth of suffering should be fully understood. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the eye, the light. This noble truth of suffering has been fully understood. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the eye, the light. Paragraph 2.
This is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. This origin of suffering as a noble truth should be abandoned. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. This origin of suffering as a noble truth has been abandoned. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. Paragraph 3. This is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. The noble truth of the cessation of suffering should be realized. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. The noble truth of the cessation of suffering has been realized. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. Paragraph 4. This is the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. This noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering should be cultivated. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. This noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering has been cultivated. Concerning things unheard before, there arose in me the I, the light. Paragraph 5. O bhikkhus, as long as my knowledge and vision was not quite purified in these 3 aspects and these 12 ways regarding the 4 noble truths, I did not claim to have realized the incomparable supreme enlightenment in the world with its devas, maras, brahmas, among the hosts of recluses, brahmanas, gods, and men. But, O bhikkhus, when my knowledge and vision was quite purified in these 3 aspects and these 12 ways regarding the 4 noble truths, then I claim to have realized the incomparable supreme enlightenment in the world with its devas, maras, brahmas, among the hosts of recluses, brahmanas, gods, and men. Now knowledge and vision arose in me thus. Unshakable is my heart's deliverance. This is the last birth. There is no more becoming. Paragraph 7. Thus spoke the Blessed One. The company of 5 monks were glad and rejoiced at the words of the Blessed One. When the discourse was expounded, there arose in the Venerable Kondanya the dustless, stainless Dhamma vision to see thus, whatever is subject to arising is subject to cessation. Moreover, when the founding of wisdom was thus expounded by the Blessed One, the earth devas raised the cry, this unsurpassed Dhammacakka, which could not be expounded by any recluse or brahmana, any deva or mara or brahma, or by anyone in the world, has been expounded by. Paragraph 8. Hearing the cry, the 4 great kings' devas, the 33 devas, the Yama devas, the devas of delight, the creative devas, the devas who rejoice in others' creations, also raised the cry. This unsurpassed Dhammacakka has been expounded by the Blessed One in the Deer Park at Isapatana near Benares. Thus, at that very moment, at that very instant, that cry reached even to the Brahma world, and this 10,000 world system quaked and shook again, and vibrated violently. An immeasurable mighty radiance surpassing the glory of gods appeared in the world. Thereupon the Blessed One uttered this solemn saying, Kondanya has indeed understood. Kondanya has indeed understood. Thus the Venerable Kondanya won his name of Kondanya the Knower, Anyaka Kondanya. Samutta Nikaya V, Book 12, The Kindred Sayings About the Truths.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi kênh của mình. Đừng quên ấn nút đăng ký, thích, bình luận và chia sẻ video với mọi người nhé.